What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to create rock paper scissors in React, and as you can already see in the screen that this is the React application that we are going to create, and you can see that I have created some basic functionalities which I will be displaying very shortly. You can see that there are points for the users as well as the computers. In this application the game works like the first 5 points will win the game. So I'm going to show you every bit, so let's just go for a demonstration. So let me just refresh. And as you can see that this is the starting point of the game. Now let's play rock, paper, scissors. So this will be very quick. So as you can see that I have picked rock and the computer picked paper. So the computer gets the point, and you can see the turn result means in this turn who wins. That means the computer gets the point. Final result, it says let's see who wins. So let's move on. I'm picking scissors, so no one gets a point. That means it's a tie. Let's move on. The computer gets 2 points. I get 1. Now 3. I get 2, 4 points, and 5. C. So the final result is computer wins because the computer has reached 5 points. So let's build what we have seen here. Okay, so we are already in VS Code, and let's open up a terminal and create a React application. So as we are already in the directory, so we can create with npx create React app and dot. Alright, so as you can see that we have happy hacking. That means we have already created the React application. So let's just close it. As you have already seen that we are using 3 images of the hands. So let's just bring them. So I already have those open. So I'll just copy these things, and I will go to the public folder. There I will be creating an images folder. So let's create it. Images, and inside the images folder I'm going to paste the 3 images. Alright, there you go. We have the 3 images, the paper, rock, and scissors. Now the first thing that we're going to do is we will open up the terminal again, and let's just use the one that we were using. And let's write npm start, and let's see what we get. Alright, so you can see that the React application works. Alright, so let's start coding. Let's go to the source, and in the app.js, I'm going to remove this line because I don't need this, and I'm going to write import. But first I need React, and I will be using 2 hooks. One is useState and the other one is useEffect. Okay, useEffect from React. Okay. And inside this I'm going to remove everything between this div. I'm going to come back to this later. Let me just save it for now, and let's see. Yeah, we got our empty thing. Okay. So as you have already seen that we have imported useState and useEffect, and we are going to use those. First of all, we will be having user choice. That means the choice of the user. That is, as I will be playing, this is my choice. So let's create user choice and set user choice. And this will be useState. This is the initialization. So we want that the first or the initial state when the game starts, the state of the hands will be rock. So for this reason I have set the initial value of user choice will be rock. And as you can see that we are using the useState hook here. By this is the variable that we have created, and this is a set user choice. This is the function actually that will be updating the value of user choice. So we will see how it's done. So this is the one for the user choice. Now let's create one for the computer choice as well. So const, this will be computer choice, and the function will be set computer choice. Okay, and similarly we want this to be rock as well. So useState, and the first value will be rock. Now let's create some states for the points as well, and by default the initial state of the points will be 0 for both. So let's create const user points and set user points useState. The first value will be 0, and let's just copy this and paste it. Instead of the user, we will be writing computer, and instead of set user points, we will be writing computer points. Okay, Now let's create one for the turn result. So let's name it turn result and set turn result. So this will be useState as well. And inside that, let's have a null value at the first place. But basically, as you have already seen, that the value will be rock for both the cases. So you might be seeing that nobody gets a point. So let's just keep it like that. And now this one is for the final result. So let's do result and set result. This is useState. And initially, we will be writing, let's see who wins. We also need a game over as well, so let's create that. This will be a boolean thing. So game over, set game over, and initially let's just have it as false, because once it's true, then the buttons will be disabled. That means the rock, paper, and the scissor buttons that you have already seen, those will be disabled, and a restart button will appear. And this game over, actually, this will indicate that the game is over, and we can restart a new game if we want. So that's it. Let's just move on. Okay, so now let's have the choices. So const choice. Let's have a list of either rock. There is paper. Scissors. Okay, now let's come inside this div and let's create the elements. At first we will have a heading, and let's go for a class name as heading. Inside that we will be writing rock, paper, scissors. The next thing that we need is scores. So let's go for a div. We are going to go for a div because we will be having two scores, the user score that we will have placed on the left side and the computer score that we will place on the right side. So let's just go for it. That's class name, and let's go for score. Okay, we will be going with h1 tags. So in the first h1 tag we will have user points, and inside that we will be having user points. This is what we have created here. As you can already see, this is what we are going to show here, and similarly we will have one for the computer points as well. So let's go for an h1 tag as well. Let's give it computer points, and similarly let's call computer points. Okay, we will be displaying these here. So for now, let's just save and let's see what we have. Okay, as you can see that we have the rock, paper, scissors, we have the user points, we have the computer points, and these user points and computer points, as you can see, as we are using useState, we have stated, or we have initialized that the initial value of user points will be 0 and the computer points will be 0 as well. So user points is 0 and computer points is 0 as well. Okay, let's move on now. Now let's create a div where we will be having choices. So div, and let's go for a class name as choices. And inside that we will be having another div for each of the choices. So let's create it like this, and here let's go for a class name choice user. Okay, inside this we will be having the image. Let's have a class name that will be user hand, and the source of the image will be double dot. This will be we will be inside the public folder. Then we can directly access images, and as this is for the user, so we will go for user choice dot png. If you can see, if we go to the public folder and the images folder, the names of the images are actually similar to the choices, so we can access it with this. So we will be accessing the images folder and the user choice. As I said, that it's the same, the names of the images are the same as the choices. So after that we will be placing .png. Okay, so this is for the users. Now let's make one for the computer as well. So we will be just copying this and pasting it again And now instead of the choice user, we will be writing choice computer, and the image class name will be computer hand. Okay, and the source of the image, this will be computer choice instead of user choice. Okay, so now if I show you that the user choice and the computer choice, we have set both the values to rock. That means if I save this, you can see that in both the cases, the rock images, or the image of the hand with the position of rock, that will be displayed for both the cases. So if I save it now, okay, so you can see that these are the images or the choices that we will be placing. So one thing that I'm going to tell you, that you can see that both the images are facing the same direction. So for the case of users, we need to rotate it to 180 degree so that these face like this actually. So we will be working on that when we move on to the CSS part. So let's just move on with this now. Okay. So as we are done with the choices, now we need to create the buttons. So let's go for a div and have a class name called button div. Okay, I think we should make it choices. That will be easier. So let's just go back, and in this place we are going to go through the list. We will be accessing the list, and we will be creating the number of buttons according to the number of elements in the list. That means as we have the 3 choices, so we will be creating 3 buttons. So let's just access it with map, choices.map, and inside that we will be having choice, and we will take index. With that, let's have an arrow function. We will have button. The class name of the button will be button. The key will be index, and we will have an onClick function for this. So in this case, we will have an arrow function inside this, and let's go for handle on click. Inside that, we will be passing the choice that we have. So we are going to create the handle on click function. So inside this, let's have it like choice. All right. So this is what we're going to pass. This is actually a loop, I will say, because we will be traversing the list of the choices, and as we have 3 lists, so 3 buttons will be created. So if I press save, you can see that handle on click is not defined. So let's just go and define the handle on click function. So after the choice here, let's go for a const handle on click, and let's have value. That means this is the choice that we are going to pass. Okay, so let's just name it choice. That will be easier to understand. Now what we are going to do is, according to the button click, we will be setting the user choice. So now we will be using this set user choice function. So what we will write is set user choice, and inside that we will pass choice. That means the choice that the player has chosen. This is for the player, and alongside our choice, we need to have the computer's choice randomly selected. So, or I should say that the computer's choice has to be generated. So what we are going to do is we are going to create a generate computer choice function, and this will be blank. So let's create that function as well. So const generate computer choice and arrow function. Inside that, let's have a const random choice. We will be traversing the choices. Inside that, we will have a random number. So math.floor math.random into choices.length. Okay, so that's what we're going to get in from the random choice. And after we get the random choice, we are going to set computer choice. Just like set user choice, we will be setting the computer choice as well to this random choice. Okay, so if I save it now, okay, you can see I don't think you can see it very clearly, but if I just increase, you can see that rock, paper, and scissors. There are 3 buttons that have been created. Okay, so let's move on. As you have already seen that we have the turn result and we have the final result. So we will be creating that, and finally after that we will have the restart button that will only pop up when the game is over. So let's just do it. Div class name. This will be result. We will have 2 h1 tags. One will say turn result, and inside that we will have turn result, and then the next one, this will have final result. So let's have final result, and here the value of result will come up. And finally, as I said, that we will be having another button. So let's create the class name. This will also be button class, and this will only be generated when the game is over. So the initial value of the game over will be false, so it will not show, but it will come up once the game over is set to true. So with that, let's have it like game over, and this is the condition that we are providing, and if this condition is fulfilled, then we're going to proceed. And button class name will be button. I think I need to put button div here instead of button. Okay, that's better. Okay, class name will be button, and there will be an onClick function here as well. This will basically refresh the page. So what we're going to do is on click here, we are going to create an arrow function and go for reset. And with that, inside or the text of the button will be restart game with a question mark. So we need to create this reset function as well. So if I save, you can see that there will be an error. So game over is not defined. Okay, I think I made a mistake here. It's spelling mistake actually. So this wasn't supposed to be an error. Okay, so now you can see that reset is not defined. So what we need to do is we need to define reset as well. So let's go for reset. Let's have an arrow function. This is window.location.reload. That's it. Okay. So now you can see that we are not able to see the restart button here as well. Here we will see it once the game over is set to true. Right now we cannot see it because we did not set any of the conditions or the logics to increase the point. So right now let's just get over and get done with it. So now we're going to have the useEffect. We're going to use the useEffect proper hook in React, just because we need to have our states updated and we need to render those states. It's very easy to render those updates of the states with useEffect. Okay, so let's create the useEffect, and inside that let's have an arrow function like this, and we will have a dependency array. So we will fill this dependency array as we move on. But first let's create combo moves. I'm going to explain this in a bit, what this is. This is user choice plus computer choice. Combo moves is actually, if you can see that the user choice plus the computer choice, that means the user choice, this is a string value, and the computer choice is also a string value. I have made a string concatenation with the user choice and the computer choice and made a single word which is called combo moves. And for the conditions that we are going to create right now, that means the conditions for the user to get the point or the computer to get the point, or maybe if nobody gets the point. So for that, it's easier to have a smaller word than to like write redundant amount of code or make the code unnecessarily big. So for that, let's move on and let's see how it works. At first, what we need to do is we need to have a condition when the user points and the computer points are less than or equal to 4. That is less than 5 actually. So let's write it like user points less than or equal to 4 and the computer points are less than or equal 4. Okay, so now inside this, the first case will be if the user wins. So for that we will have combo move. This is equals for the user to win. If the user chooses rock, the computer has to choose scissors. If this is one case, or we will have combo moves equals if the user chooses paper, the computer has to choose rock, and we will have combo moves if the user chooses scissors, the computer has to choose paper. Okay, so if that is the case that we get, now let's make the functionalities, or we will need to increase the points of the user. So for that, what we will have is const updated user points equals already assigned user points, or the already available user points plus 1. We are going to set this updated user points to user points. So we will be using the set user points function, and this will update the user points. So the value of the user points will be changed with this, and with that we will have the set turn result as user gets the point. We will write user got the point. Okay. We are going to check one more thing, is that inside this, that if the user points reaches, or the updated user points that we have here reaches to 5, we will have the game to be over. So for that we will write if updated user points equals 5, we need to set game over to true, and we will have set result to user wins. Okay, now we are going to do almost the similar thing for the computer to get points. So for that, let's move on with if. Let's have the combo moves, or I think I should better copy this line and we will change the values. Let's move on to, if you can see that we will be copying up to this. Okay, let's copy up to that and paste it here. Okay, so for the computer to win, if the computer chooses scissors, if you can see that in the combo choices, the computer choice is a latter part of the verb. That means this scissors, this is the computer's choice, and for the computer to win, we need to change this rock to paper, because paper is beaten by scissors. Similarly, in case of rock, if the computer's choice is rock, we need to change this to scissors. And if the computer's choice is paper, the user's choice needs to be rock. Okay, rock. I think, yeah, that's correct now. Paper, rock, okay, rock, paper, scissors, rock, and paper, scissors. Okay. Alright, so if these are the cases, now let's create the functions for the computer. So here as well, we will have an updated points as well. So we will name it updated computer points. Just for the sake of understanding, I'm naming these like this. And the updated computer points will be all the already present computer points plus 1. And we will set the computer points to the updated computer points. Alright. And after that, we're going to set the turn results as well. The turn result will be set to computer dot the point. Okay. And after that, we also need to check if the computer gets 5 points as well. So if the updated computer points is equals to 5, so if that's the case, that we need to set game over to true, and we need to set result that the computer wins. Okay. And there is a case that if both, nobody gets the point. That means if the user and the computer selects the same thing. So for that, let's just write if, I think we have this already copied from previously, so we will just change it to the combo moves. Moves will be rock. This will be paper. And this will be, I think, let's just copy this first. Scissors, copy this. And instead of paper, we will place scissors. So rock, paper, or scissors. If that is the case, set turn result will be no one got a point. Okay, let's save it. Okay, now I think we can play the game. I'll just make it a little bit smaller so that I think you can see, even though the buttons seems very small, but I think this will work. So at first, let's go with the rock. Nobody got a point. I'm going with paper, and the computer goes with the rock. So I don't see any sort of updates. Okay, so as you can see that nothing is being updated. That means we need to put something in the dependency array of the useEffect. So here we need to put the user choice as well as the computer choice. Otherwise, this will not work properly. So now let's save it and then refresh. Now if you see that if I choose rock, nothing happens. If I choose paper and the computer chooses scissors, so see the point of computer is updated, and here as well computer got the point. Let's move on. Let's play it more. Okay, I got a point. 2 points for me, 2 points for the computer, 3 for me, 4 for me, and finally 5 points. Okay, so now you can see that restart game is here. This is also very small. I'll just make it a little bit bigger. So if you can see that restart game is here, so this has already come once we have completed 5 points. So if I click on restart game, so this will be refreshed and everything will be set to the initial stage. So now you can see that the restart game button is gone. So we can play it again. So I'm just making it a little bit smaller. Now let's just focus on the CSS of this application. So for that, let's go to the app.css. Okay, and close this for a moment. I think I'm going to remove everything except for the app. So I'm just going to remove everything up to here. Okay. The first thing that we need to do is, let's have, for the whole thing, let's have a margin 0. Let's have a padding 0. Let's have a box sizing to border box. Let's save it. Alright, so this is what we have now. In case of the app, the text align is center. Let's keep it that way. We will have a height of 100 VH. Let's have a background color. You can choose it whatever you want. I will be going with light blue. So I'll just write light blue. And the font family, I'm going with sans serif. Okay, I'll just save it. Okay, so you can see that the background color is visible now. The first thing that we are going to do is with heading. We want to change the size of the font. So let's go with font size. We'll go with 50 pixels and save. Okay, so you can see that rock, paper, scissors is bigger now. Alright, now for the score part. As I said, that we don't want the scores to look or the scores to appear one just beneath the other. We want both of them to be side by side. So for that reason, let's make it like that. So the height will be 20 VH. Display will be flex. Justified content will be spaced around. and the align items will be center. Okay, save it. Okay, you can see the user point and the computer point. They're now side by side. All right, let's move on. Now, in case of the choice, we want the size of the hands to change a little bit. So let's go for choice. And here, let's go with the height of 25 VH. The display will be flex. And justify content will be center. Let me check if I made a mistake or something. Okay, this should not be choices. I think this should be choice. Let's save it. Alright, now you can see that both the hands are side by side to one another. Okay, so now let's make the size of the computer hand. So let's go with computer hand, and width will be 250 pixels. Okay, so you can see the size of the computer hand. Now, in case of the user hand, we will be changing the size as well as we are going to rotate it to 180 degrees. So let's go with user hand. And first of all, let's go with the width that is as well as that is the same as the computer. So 250 pixels. And we're going to rotate. So transform, that will be rotate in the y-axis to 180 degree. 180 degree. Okay, let's save it. Now you can see that both of them are facing towards each other. Okay. After that, we can put some animations, but for this tutorial, I'm not going to put any sort of animations here. So you can put it yourself. So let's move on. Now let's design the buttons. So the first thing that we need is the button div. And here we will have the display as flex. Justify content will be center. Padding will be 20 pixels. Let's save it. Okay. Now, in case of the button, let's have a width of 150 pixels, the height of 50 pixels. Justify content will be space around. Align items will be center. Background color, I'm going with coral. Font size 20 pixels. Border radius will be 5 pixels. Let's have a cursor with pointer and save it. Okay, so you can see now that we have our buttons. And the button, the restart button, this will be of the same thing as well, because this is the design of the button. So we will see it again. And now finally we need to just make the CSS for the result. We will just go for a small padding, and this will be 50 pixels. We'll save it. Okay, now it looks a little bit better. Okay, so I guess hopefully that is it for the coding part. Now what we're going to do is we're going to test. So just refresh and let's start. So if I picked rock, nothing happens. Paper, I get the point. Scissors, nobody gets the point. Then rock, paper, I get the point again. Scissors, the computer gets the point. Paper. I'm going randomly now. You can see the points as well and my selections as well. Okay, so the computer wins this game. So you can see that computer got the point. The final result is computer wins. Now the restart button, it's here. But you can see that these are not disabled. So we need to disable this as well. So for that reason, what we need to do is we need to go back to the code. And in case of these buttons here, actually, in this case, what we will do is here, what we will write is disabled. The case will be game over. So let's just save it. That means you can see game over, the value, if it's true, then this will be disabled. But if it's false, then it won't be disabled. So now you can see that already as the game is over, so this has been disabled. So if I restart the game, everything is enabled again. You can click. See, now I'm playing the game. And let's just see who wins. Okay, this time I win. and it says the user wins. You can see the buttons are disabled. I can't click on these anymore, and the restart game button, this has appeared. So yeah, basically that's it for the video. Like we have created our own rock paper scissors game with React, and you can add some more animations if you want. Like you can use the hands to like shake whenever you choose something. It can shake for around like 1 or 2 seconds, and then this will go for the choices or however it wants to be. So basically that's it for the video. I hope you have enjoyed it, and if you did, please consider liking this video, commenting what you thought. Maybe if you have an easier approach to this, so you can say it down in the comment sections as well. And if you liked it, please share it. And of course, if you haven't already, please subscribe to this YouTube channel and hit the bell icon so that whenever I upload a new video, you will be notified immediately. So with that said, I will leave today, and I will see you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.